All right, here we are in the grand finals of Alpha Navigators Cup weekly number 22 with a one-game lead for winning the winner bracket finals is Aftermath Theory in the Blue Infernal here, opening with Conclave and marching his Hexen across the map. His opponent, msrm, coming out of the losers bracket finals with 2 quick wins and trying to win this with a quick 3-0 or 3-1 victory, needing that extra win to defeat Theory. Now, our Hexens marched the wrong way. Actually, this Hexen, why did she turn around? That's very curious. Didn't see the other Hexen and maybe decided I'm going to turn around. I went the wrong way. I wanted to fight a Hexen, and she's not here. And this Imp just, managing to get the farm down. And then Hokey Pokey dances her way away. So that Hexen, annoying an Imp for a moment, but that's it. And then Theory's Hexen also returning home, undamaged. No Hexen on Hexen violence yet. Couple Gaunts coming out here to help Theory do his creeping. And a Brute. So again, different tech out of these two. It's Vault Conclave here from msrm with the Gaunts coming in to support. And actually it was Conclave Vault. So it's actually very similar tech, just slightly different orders there. Meaning both of them are going to have a more robust early game army of Brutes and Gaunts, and of course any Fiends they can manage to get. So it does come down to how they use that army, what their choices are in terms of, creeping order, when to engage, how to micro those units, and also how many of those units are they going to produce, and how much of their early income are they going to dedicate to things like teching or their econ. And it looks like we're going to get our first battle here. Some speedy little Fiends managing to zip their way out of there. The speed boost just wearing off there. Now, of course, too early for any kind of Plague Axe tech here, but we are just doing micro battles here. Trying to get Fiends on top of Gaunts. And actually, the Gaunts of msrm managed to clean up the Fiends pretty well. That Theory was trying to micro in the back, giving a slight advantage, I'd say. And then, of course, rushing back to the healing camp to ensure that any of that hit point damage is basically all healed up and we're back to full. So any losses that were taken in terms of units were solidified, but everything else healed back up. Now, Theory seems to just be still pumping a lot of army here. Up to 3 Brutes with maybe 6 Gaunts here. Managing to get that 1 Brute to do a lot of tanking up there. Good job. Not a manual split, but still only losing the 1 Brute basically to creep that camp, which is good. That's a tough camp. I'm always losing all kinds of units to that camp. So now speedy boost here. Lots of Fiends, 1 Brute in this, and there's a single Fiend there able to scout it out. Now, what is Theory's response going to be? Is he going to bring his units back, or is he going to try and push out and maybe get some aggression going? Yeah, his army is going to come back, but msrm is just going to creep this camp, ignore the Fellhogs, basically. That's giving enough time for Theory to come back, and it's not clear who got the last hit there. It's probably msrm. And Theory's force is looking pretty nasty. And pulling the creeps to, just try and get them aggroed onto Theory's army and have his army move back. That's put space between the 2 armies, but msrm's now going to come forward and maybe go for the camp? No. I think what he was hoping is that Theory might go for the camp and then he could get on top of his units, but Theory also being patient. Now coming to get the camp, msrm's already moved away, making sure he had his own good force. Then losing a Brute there, but I feel like I always have to lose a Brute unless you've got some good Brute pullback micro. So MSRM retaking the center there. Killing the effigy that was there. A couple Gaunts trying to retake it now. So a little bit of positioning battle over the center of the map. And Fiends coming in, scouting for thirds and stealing camps, or stealing the speed camp over here. And it looks like back to this Therium camp. So they fought over the one up at the top, but now they're going to fight this one, and maybe Theory's going to get a good chance here. His army is moving in right on top, right as these creeps die. So not getting exactly the advantage he wanted, but managing to get on top there. Not sure if he got a kill or not on any of those units, but they're in full retreat. And what he did get is managed to capture the camp, capture this one as well, and now meaning he's pretty much in control of every camp on the map, except for this one healing camp, and he's pushed out. Now, MSRM's got more here at the moment, so we'll see. It looks like he's got the defender's advantage. Summons in that Shroud Stone. Now, Theory's Gaunts are not on creep. We do see that there's a ton of infest from a Nightfall infestation, so they don't necessarily need those Plague Axes. But it's MSRM's units that have pushed out here, and they're on top of Theory, and now Theory has lost all of those Gaunts. A ton of Fiends produced, a little bit of a snowball coming out here now. 20 supply lead with it's 10 now that Theory managed to produce some units, which is good because that was looking pretty dangerous at this stage of the game. Again, MSRM back up to 20 lead now. But, ooh, the couple of, or 3 Weavers, I should say. These speedy Fiends trying to get something done. Not running up into the main, though. Instead, trying to be a little bit of a tanking force and a frontline DPS force here. But there's these really tanky Weavers. One Weaver going down. It looks like MSRM might be trying to focus fire them. A nice... Wow, that's a really good hit of Nightfall Infestation and the Trample at the same time. There's also a Meg for MSRM here. So that Meg's going to get lashed and pulled in. He's stun locked for a moment. But, oh, a double lash. I was going to say he might be able to use the Trample and get out of there. But one thing that Meg did do at least was tank those Weavers for a bit. But I think another Mag out of Theory here is going to be enough to push back this this force, which was looking pretty dangerous actually. And now the supplies have re-evened. In fact, Theory now pulling ahead. So MSRM's choice to be a little aggressive there while he had the advantage, maybe not working out the way he had hoped. Again, those big tanky Weavers I think were part of it. Not to mention the Magmadon that came out and really helped. So retaking his speed camp and also putting down a third. Doesn't look like there's a third for Theory yet. And there's a lone Mag out here trying to chomp some cabbage. And also re-creeping on his side of the map. There is a fourth also going down by MSRM, so he's trying to go for a more aggressive eco play here. That fourth is actually ahead of the third, so that's the third. I got them backwards. Now the question is he going to be able to keep both of these? That double expand is it's going to be expensive to try and populate those with imps. And after investing in the shrines themselves, you usually want to spend that time getting them up and running. So it's, in a weird way, even though this is a big eco play, it kind of slows down MSRM for the next couple minutes, which really puts a big timing for Theory, who now has a 20 supply advantage. That's the difference between him putting his income into the supply and MSRM putting his into eco. And getting those speedy boosts there. And jumping right on top of this base. There's just enough imps here that the Plague Axes are going to turn those all into Fiends and make a little Fiend force. Now, we've got MSRM engaging on the bottom here. His army is not quite as good in terms of supply, but he has the positioning advantage. A lot of Theory's army was attacking that shrine, and now it's Theory's Magmadon that comes forward to try and zone back the the Gaunt, sorry. The Gaunt's in full retreat here, some of them infested. Trying to get away. Another Weaver pops out, but there's just so many Gaunts. They're going to focus fire that Weaver down right away. There's Mag now on top of the Imps and the Gaunts down here, and that Mag chomped down a Fiend and is just, despite being focus fire, is staying alive. He should do another chomp now, but instead does another trample on top of those Gaunts. Does a chomp to get that Shroud Skin. That's a hero Magmadon right there out of Theory. Okay, here we are in the second game of these grand finals, with Theory taking that first game with a hero Mag. And his opponent, msrm, hoping to take a map off him so he can force the final game, is msrm. And he's opening Conclave with, okay, I was wondering if that was a sneaky, like, maybe I'm going to go an Expo, but no, that's just a forward vault. And Conclave Vault out of Theory as well. And there was, it looks like there was some Hexen violence. And msrm has won the Hexen battle so far, getting that Shroud Skin down to 1 hit point of health for Theory. Now, Theory doesn't mind being so low. Brazenly walks into the base, scouts out everything that's going on there, and gets home and says, "Buzz off. Let me shoot you one more time." In fact, choosing not to, choosing peace today, and deciding I'm going to walk out and start my creeping adventure. We got any Gaunts? Where are my Gaunts? There they are. Pulling these Shadow Massives up onto the high ground. Doing a little tanking with the Hexen, although you don't really want to tank the whole time. Oh, poor Hexen, get out of there. You're getting low. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. See, that's what happens when you get your low Shroud Skin at the beginning of the game. Next thing you know, you're at 33 hit points, and you're almost dead from some Shadow Mastiffs. That's why you got to focus on that early Hexen on Hexen damage. It's pretty much all that matters. And are you going to eat the cabbage? Yeah, eat the cabbage. Yummy, tasty cabbage. So both of them have creeped their speed camps, but Theory has decided to go for the vision camp first, whereas msrm is going for the health camp second, getting those sweet healing juices going. And now, are they gonna, yeah, is there gonna be a little conflict here? Doesn't look like it. Looks like msrm is gonna go for the other vision camp. And again, even though this vision camp kind of looks like it's on msrm's side of the map, just the way the meta has gone, especially in Infernal versus Infernal, this is almost the one that's usually the one that Theory has control of. Now, both of them here looks like are going to try and capture this vision camp. Theory already with an effigy down. Doesn't show me, is that a permie? No. Doesn't show me the countdown on the effigy. I guess in observers you can't see that. You just see the effigy itself. Ooh, that skull was focus fired down, so it didn't get to impact on any of those Gaunts. And Theory deciding to back off, go for his own health camp instead. Maybe preferring the nice income from the health camp to the uncertainty of a toe-to-toe battle. And this camp also being claimed now, and it looks like a little aggression coming from msrm. Theory ready for it though. So msrm goes to steal the health camp, which of course just gives you that extra advantage. If you are going to push here, means your units are getting the double health boost. I believe it stacks. And you are at least denying your opponent of that health boost. So any maps, Broken Crown happens to be one of these maps where if you're doing a push and you've got to kind of soft contain on your opponent, you can steal all his camps and then make that push even stronger. With a speedy little Skull of Shedda up there, almost being taken out, but impacting on that brute. Just a little scout, see what's going on. And that was signal for Theory, okay. He saw that the whole army had moved down here, so I'm going to go move back out, retake retake the control over these camps. Looks like he sent a Fiend over here to do that as well. So the Phantom push that was maybe feared never appeared. Instead, they're just trying to... In fact, it's now TheoRy with control over a lot of the map. With his good Fiend control going out and taking those out. And looks like there's a little battle over that with Fiends here, but there's a bigger battle here. It's a ton of brutes out of msrm, and they're actually on top of all these units. There's only Gaunts left. There's a one Hexen doing all the tanking here. Hexen going down. So while the brutes did do some tanking there, the Gaunts on the back line managed to do some pretty good damage. And msrm is in retreat. Brutes showing up for TheoRy as well. The difference here being that the Gaunts for TheoRy are much healthier. Lots of Shroud Skin and a lot of weak Gaunts for msrm, but msrm reinforces and brings in a lot bigger Gaunt force. Still with brutes on the front and take out that effigy there. So good little, let's call it harass. Not really fully committed there by TheoRy. Not losing a lot of units. Once he saw that greater force of reinforcements, deciding to pull back, and I think that's wise. But what we do see for msrm is a third base going down. And, you know, this is one of the longer games I've cast of these IVIs in a while, so let's check on upgrades and such. We don't have a tier 2 yet from msrm. And it doesn't look like it, at least not at the main. Sometimes we build those at our natural for the extra health. Ritual Chamber, I don't see Hellforge anywhere. I don't think Hellforge is something that is big in IVI meta right at this moment, because a lot of our tech is going to be Gaunt and Weaver tech, so the Ritual Chambers tend to be focused, but neither of them have a Hellforge, so neither of them trying to get those Brute upgrades, Mag upgrades. Is this a Reaper's Rush coming down? Okay, so we must... whose Ritual Chamber am I on? msrm, so that means we have a Greater Shrine now. We do have Reaper's Rush coming out for msrm, and we do have a Greater Shrine now, almost done. And let's see if that turns into Reaper's Rush. Yes, so both of them staying on the Gaunt tech, moving into tier 2. TheoRy just a little bit slower on his third base and on his tech. More conclaves going down now. Increase of production to try and take advantage of that greater income that hopefully will be flowing once the third base gets saturated. And still no Hellforge. Also no Twilight Spire, although they both just got their tier 2. And now we have a mag-based push coming out with a Nightfall Infestation managed to capture some of those units, meaning that the mag is able to contact with the trample. And a nice chomp from the mag to stay alive. Remember that hero mag from the last game? This mag is still staying alive, and another chomp. So remember, chomp refills the Shroud Skin. And mags have a lot of Shroud Skin. How much? 120. So that's an extra 120 health that they can get from that chomp. And at least from my knowledge, the refresh or the cooldown is pretty quick. Ooh, unfortunate leg there, so it's hard to kind of see what's going on. But that mag got lashed up onto the high ground and then managed to get at least some trample damage down. Trying to get a good concave here, and the Weaver goes down. The Weaver's a pain in the butt, but as Gaunts, you really want to be doing your damage to other Gaunts, because Gaunts have lower HP, and they will spawn way more Fiends. You can do all that damage to a Weaver and only get one Fiend out of it. But it looks like it's just Gaunts and Gaunts now, which sometimes that's how it ends up in these mid-game battles. You lose some of your front line, and then it's just Gaunts on Gaunts. And whoever can really do a little bit better control, because of course if you have more numbers, that's great. Can you get a concave on their Gaunts? Can you focus fire their Gaunts so that you're spawning your Fiends faster? And can you avoid your Gaunts from retargeting on the Fiends I mean, sometimes you want them targeted on the fiends if you've got a lot of them. So that's some of the control battle that you have to face in these gaunt on gaunt battles. Now there's a lot of gaunts here, a few brutes added, moving out to their creep camp, but TheoRy's army a little bit higher in supply, added some weavers as well. No extra mags. The one hero mag died and has not been rebuilt. That's one reason why you might not be going for those health forges. If you are just going to pump one mag, it's not really, it's pretty expensive to upgrade just for a single mag. Mags get a lot better in this matchup in the late game after they have Raging Tendons, of course. Then they can start chasing down some of these units, but before that, they're pretty slow. TheoRy trying to do a little aggression now. Again, stealing camps before, actually not quite stealing that camp, but getting an okay kind of concave by having his units on both sides of the trees here, using his weavers to go and snatch some of those weavers of msrm, and now we have TheoRy pushing msrm right up into his natural. There's a single hellborn in the back, but he gets lashed down, and now he's going to get focused. One mag comes out, but not, well, managing to get a little damage with that trample on the front line. But again, a single mag, you really want to get it right up in there, and unfortunately, got focus fired down. There's just so many gaunts here, and that's a GG from msrm. I saw it this time, and that's a Grand Finals win for TheoRy.